Welcome to the Acoustic Haven podcast. Today I'm joined by Bautista. He's an entertainer, he's an artist, he's from UC Riverside, and currently he's building out his brand.
Yeah.
So welcome to the show.
Yo, what up?
So just to get right into this, I want to know a little bit about your background. So this is all about music, so why did you even get into music in the first place?
The main reason why I got into music, I had a brother pass away. I've been in music since I was 5.
Okay.
I was a musician, but I never took it seriously because I just never had I always said that I'm gonna do a lot of stuff, but I never recorded anything.
Yeah.
You know, my homie put me on the spot like, he ain't done nothing. Like, come back to me once you record something. And then 4 years ago, I had my brother pass away, and then that had a great toll on me psychologically. I was like, damn, life is short. And then I also it made me reflect because I also have a brother in prison too.
Okay.
So reflecting on my brother passing away and my brother in prison, it just made me think I can't be playing around because I grew up in the hood. I grew up poor, so it's like I have an opportunity to just not fail, you know. So I just decided I'm gonna take music seriously from now on because of my background and the opportunity that I've given, you know.
Okay, and then what do you kind of want your music to symbolize? I mean, you're talking about a lot of the struggles you went through and kind of your upbringing and all this stuff. So what did you want your music to really tell other people?
To enjoy life,
okay.
To feel pain, to not be afraid to be yourself, to embrace the version that you envision yourself becoming. Because mainly all the music that I've been doing is basically stating a lot of stuff, you know, this is who I picture myself becoming, and over time I will become that something, you know. Just celebrate life, bro. It's just some feel good music type of shit.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I know. I feel that.
You know what I mean?
That. So what would you say your music genre really is then? I know we talked. It's aligned with pop, but it's more than just pop music.
Yeah, no, it's weird because I grew up in a weird environment where I was surrounded by Christian music, blues, R&B, jazz, and then finally hip hop was the candle, the frosting on the cake. Uh-huh. Yeah, but putting I don't know, I consider myself pop, but
okay.
Call me a Mexican West Coast pop artist. yeah, Mexican West Coast pop artist from the hood.
I feel that. So do you have any songs in Spanish?
Yeah, I do. I have a song in Spanish. It's just not out yet. I have songs in Spanish, but they're not out. I have a ton of music that's not out yet.
So you plan to make a lot more Spanish music? Kind of go back to your heritage?
Yeah, I got to represent where I'm from. You feel me? You know, Latino side from Oaxaca, half Oaxaqueño, you know, from my dad's side, you know. But,
okay.
Yeah, but I was born here, though.
Awesome. So, I mean, over the past year, you've been, putting out a lot of music. You finally rreleased your first album.
Yeah. So
what was that process like to release your first album, the Pink Thoughts album?
Oh, it wasn't even my first one. It was I think it was my fourth one. It was my fourth one, but the first one was so shitty that I don't even call it an album. You know what I mean? It was so bad. And then the second one I did, I was okay, but it was under a different artist name, you know? And it was, I put all my money into it. I went shit broke.
Yeah.
That didn't go anywhere. It flopped completely. I forgot about marketing money, all that other shit.
You're just the music.
Just the music. Then they said, oh, bro, what you gonna put in for the marketing? Goddamn, 14 tracks in this bitch. I can't market this shit. You know, and I was homeless for a year after that, and then worked on another album. And then that one was called Love, and that's I think it was identifying who I was as a person. And then Pink Thoughts is I think was where people knew me now. Not known everywhere, but locally, people know me now.
Put you on the map.
Yeah, on campus, anywhere, on campus, or people through Instagram, they know me as the music guy now. Okay. And that's a pretty good thing.
Oh, that's awesome. I mean, that's the important thing with artists. You got to solidify your brand so you can actually start branching out and growing that.
Yeah, where people know you for what you are. You know what I mean? If they know you, they don't know you by your name. They know you by what you do.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And that's when you know it's a real brand, because the brand's not what you say about yourself. It's what other people say about you.
But you, yeah.
So if everybody's coming up to you in class and stuff like that and saying, oh, you're the entertainer, oh, you're the artist, oh, you're doing this, you know that you're actually you're going the right pathway. So that's awesome to hear. But as for the Pink Thoughts album, what was kind of the theme? What did you really want to symbolize in that album?
My love for women. Yeah, that's basically what it is.
Fair enough.
My love for women, my admiration for women, what they've taught me, and like some songs were inspired by certain women, and it's just like what goes on through my head when it comes to women.
Okay.
That's basically what it is, but it's like a very mature compared to like my past work. Yeah, I've made 2 EPs before that coming out, but it never released. Like I scrapped like 2 different projects before that. It took like a while to get to that. It took me 2 years to get that to
wow.
be.
So it's a whole 2-year process to make
whole
that?
2-year process, bro. Like, I produced most of it, though. Like, 70 to 80% of Pink Thoughts I produced.
That's awesome. So you not only made your music, you produced your music. Did you mix and master as well, or was that mostly...
No, fuck that.
You're like, that's too hard.
No, I might go deaf. Like, because, like, I understand, like, majority of people, like, they want to engineer this stuff, become, like, independent. Like, I respect that. Like, you know, I respect your grind, but, like, you got to keep in mind, like, your hearing.
Oh yeah.
You gotta value that. And most people, like, as an artist, you don't mix at a low volume. You mix high because you want to feel like the music.
Every single thing.
You want to feel it, which is like, it's a double-edged sword. You feel it, and they're like, when you mix it, like, sure, you make it to like the people the way they like it, but you also damage your hearing. And like, I value that more than anything, because if I lose my hearing, I lose my talent. You know what I mean? So like, I'd rather have somebody else be in charge of it, because like my skill level, to match my skill level and take it to the next level. Like, my engineering is not as good as my music making skills. And then like my hearing, it can only last like so long, because you got to make it. And for me, making it, like, I'm not like some people who can, like, sometimes it takes me 15 minutes, sometimes it takes me like, you know,
couple days,
but like I have to listen to that thing over and over again. And by that time, like, your ear gets tired, and then you lose your hearing. Like, that's like one thing that I'm afraid of.
Okay, no, that's actually a really good point. I don't think a lot of people consider that, and that actually brings up another good point. Is even artists that want to be independent, and I respect artists that want to be independent, but even independent artists need to realize what they're good at, where their time goes, and what they can outsource. Because a good businessman is a good delegator. If you can't delegate your resources and all that kind of stuff, what you talked about earlier, like you made an album, but you didn't have the marketing budget. It's the exact same concept. If you're an independent artist, I think that's one thing artists should consider is what you're good at, what you can do, and then how do you get a team behind you to push the rest of the stuff going.
Exactly, because like, everything takes time. You know, like, making the song takes time. Writing the song takes time. You know, mixing the song takes time.
Yeah.
And like, mixing for audio engineers, I don't know, like, depending on who you are or how good you want it to be, like, it takes 2 to 5 hours. Exactly. You feel me? Like, if it's just the track and the vocals, 2 to 3 hours. If it's the track with individual instruments and like the vocals, it takes who knows how long, because then like the artist gets picky, so you got to switch some certain things out. You know, like, everything takes time, and like, you got to figure out like, how do you want to like manage your time? Like, okay, I'm gonna give somebody else this song to mix it while I focus on this part that I should be focusing on, to make sure that the process is easier and less stressful.
I feel that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's how I get a lot done, dude.
That's a good approach. That's a really good way to go about it. And that's literally why you have an archive of so many songs that you just haven't released yet. Even though we're waiting for that music, but at the same time, it's a good thing that you're slowly approaching, slowly releasing, and doing when you're ready with it.
Yeah, like, it's because, like, you know, like, okay, everybody has their own process. Like, I've studied like people's, like, the way they market. Like, one thing I've learned, if you try to become successful, study from successful people. You know what I mean? Like, Russ, he did that challenge of doing like a song a week. That was his process. You feel me? And he was able to do that because like the beats he makes are simple but catchy. And he's a rapper too. Rapper kind of singer. So he doesn't have to think too much about how he mixes his vocals.
And people remember his choruses every single time.
People remember his choruses, and then you got to think about that. You got your Kendricks. They drop something once in a while,
but it's unique.
And it's memorable. I'm trying to find like a line where I can be between both. You know what I mean? Where I like, there's no such thing as oversaturation, because you're not big enough to oversaturate people.
Exactly.
But you want to savor that moment when you drop something. Yeah. You know what I mean? For me, you know what I mean? Like,
it's your story.
It's my story. You feel me? And it takes like a lot out of me. So like, when I drop something, like, I want to make sure that people like savor that song. You know what I mean?
And they also understand what you're going with it, because I think that's one thing that there's sometimes a big disconnect with like major artists and the audience is, you make a song, but it gets interpreted in a completely different way. But at the end of the day, you're the one making the song, so it's your interpretation that really matters. But a lot of the times the audience doesn't really realize that. They don't understand what the process is, what you're really going through, what your emotional feelings are. And I think that's a good point that you're saying, is that when you put out music, it's important that people really understand that there's more to it, that it's a longevity when you're dropping music, not just a one-time thing.
But like, it's a double-edged sword. Dropping a song like once in a while and dropping a song once a week. Like dropping a song once a week, you do have like the cost of people not listening to you. But then again, like if they're your fans, they're gonna be your fans.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you drop it like once in a while, like, and you approach it in more of like a marketing aspect, like if I divide my financial resources in a proper manner, such as going straight to the source of marketing stuff, you could have just as much as an impact as the guy who drops a song a week. So like both of them kind of work. It's just like you just gotta choose. I'm choosing my path of just doing this, but like keeping my social media popping, but me showing that I work.
No,
you know what I mean?
I think that's actually the important thing. You don't necessarily need to drop music all the time, but you need to drop content all the time.
Content all the time. Content is important. Like content is like the most important thing, because when I was making Pink Thoughts, I didn't drop music for like a while, like a long time, but I was still relevant within my platform because I was still dropping content, you know, and I never lost like touch of people. You know, like most of the time, like people like they focus on their music and then they distance themselves from like society, which is good because you get to focus on yourself, but people don't get to see that growth. So they don't get to be in touch with you. And you got to keep in mind, like, what are you trying to be? You know, I'm trying to be an entertainer, and to me, the definition of an entertainer is somebody who's like connected to the people. Oh yeah. So you got to show them everything, because when you blow up and you're a celebrity, like you can't hide anything. The minute you mess up, everybody's gonna find out. Exactly. So might as well be open from the jump. Like, I'm not perfect, you know, and I don't want to hide anything. So it's like, see everything that I got, what I'm working for, and then most people like would just see it. Like, that's why I do like sketches and shit. Like, I'm trying to be stupid from the jump, so that way when I'm stupid like in public, like it's just like, me. Hey, you already know it's me. Yeah, like Tyler the Creator gets away with so much shit because like he's like just open. You know what I mean? Like he's been like, and people expect that out of him. Like it's his brand. Like his brand is around entertainment, and that's the one thing he was good at. That from the start, he never put himself as I'm just an artist or I'm just this. He's like, dude, I'm everything. I'm everything. You feel me? So you don't want to put yourself in a box. So it's like, I love being in front. Awesome. No, actually, that brings us to the next point, which is exactly that shift between an artist and an entertainer, and it's kind of understanding how to capture that middle ground, which is like, it's not just about your music; it's about how you handle the community, how you interact with other people, how you can do other things. So when it comes to your skits, what are you trying to do with your skits? Stupid, entertain people. My skits are just to like. Entertainer. I'm just trying to entertain you. Like it's another outlet for me to like release certain things than like I would do in my music. In my music, I take it like more seriously. But then like people gotta like I'm not just serious. I'm goofy. Like people know me mainly for goofy. Like if you didn't know me for music, you would know me for being goofy. Yeah. So both of them allow me an outlet to like express a part of me where I don't have to hide anything. Like I don't want to hide anything to people. That's one thing I don't want to do. Okay. Yeah. No, that's definitely a good approach. And go ahead. No, my bad. And plus, like, it keeps you consistent. Like, it keeps you consistent on your platform. People interact with you, because I did a study analysis, like my own like research on advertisements when it comes to certain things. Like, if you advertise this kind of content, you're gonna get this type of following. If you advertise this kind of content, you're gonna get this type of following. So like just playing around like algorithms and the way people read it, viewing your insights, like it's pretty insightful. Like I get more followers when I do my comedy skits, which is crazy. But if you're gonna do something aesthetic, make sure it's aesthetically pleasing to the eye, like extremely pleasing. Like the Pink Thoughts album cover, I got hella followers from that because it was so different. So different. And I think that's the key thing, too, is the difference. So a lot of artists, they just push the same ads on their music all the time. And it's the same thing on people's feeds, and they just get over it because it's oversaturated. Yeah, same response. You get the same response. You get like 3 clicks after like 5,000 people watching it. You know what I mean? But if it's different, like you got to think super hard on how different you want to be. Like it got to be like weird, unique. And that's how shit be trending. Like shit trends because like it's different. It's trending. Yeah, like it's a vibe. You feel me? Like if you like know the formula of the vibe, you feel me? You basically got it. Yeah.
No, that's definitely good. I mean, continue off of that. So, I mean, you're doing more than just making music and making these skits. You're also now kind of venturing into like commercial space, acting, your own business. You're actually creating products. So, tell me more about what you're trying to do now, kind of expanding as being just an artist.
Oh, as
a businessman.
As a businessman, I just want to be an entertainer.
Okay.
But for me to be an entertainer, I have to finance myself.
Yes.
And the resources that I have around me aren't enough. So in order for me to create resources for myself to be just an entertainer, I have to create this thing like a lot of rich people do it. Like a lot of millionaires, they talk about it, cash flow. I have to be able to develop cash flow. So what I've been doing right now, like I've worked on a product with B Cray and Ace, and we developed this product called Bloom. Okay. And basically, these are just a set of earphones that 25% of it goes to the community. It's Bluetooth, wireless. It's almost similar to the AirPods, right? Yeah. It's almost similar to that, but the difference is that we're actually giving back to the community.
Yeah. No, I think that's huge. That 25% really stands for what you said earlier, which is that how much you care about the community, how much you want to kind of inspire and promote, like
add value to society.
Exactly.
Yeah, because Apple products are extremely overpriced, and like if you study like behind like what it takes to even just make a product, it's like $1, $2 overseas.
A
couple bucks. You know, like people don't even keep that in mind. Like they sell the like certain things for like they buy it in bulk and then they sell it for like a
people buy brands
lucrative amount of price. But I'm developing. I worked with this mainly because I like the idea of it, of helping out with the community. Yeah, and like it's also like helping me develop more like skill sets of like how should I like develop my own brand, you know, which is why I mainly did this. And then I'm doing acting because like it's part of being an entertainer. Yeah. And plus you get more money off of it than just working a minimum wage job. You know what I mean? Like right now I'm working like 3 different minimum wage jobs, you know? And like what I do in what happens in acting, I get like $150 in 30 minutes.
It's wild.
That's wild. You feel me? Like that's money right there. I view acting like as an opportunity to get money. Yeah. You feel me? That's me. Like I love acting as an art. I love film production. I love like when people direct it, you feel me? Like The Joker was a great film too. Oh yeah. I love seeing all that part. But like I'm trying to think about how I'm trying to manage my time. If I could get paid a minimum wage, like if I could get paid $150 30 minutes, and for every 30 minutes, I am basically winning. I don't have to I don't have to work an hour for minimum wage, $13 an hour. That's basically like over a week to a week and a half worth of checks. Yeah. You feel me? Like we were talking like even like off screen about this. Like you don't want to work for a check. No, you want to work to be free and less stress.
Exactly. You want to earn your worth. If you're making hourly pay, you know exactly. I do this many hours, I get this much money. But it's not based off how much work you're putting in. Yeah. Compared to that way, you can put in as much work you want. You get as much money as you want, and at the end of the day, it's not dictated, and you can now take 6 days off or whatever.
Yeah, you feel me? Like, after that, bro, you feel free. Like, I could just work mainly on myself and then working for other people. That's like the goal I think people should do, just work on themselves. But yeah, this is like my first step into entrepreneurship, and then after all this music, I hope to create my own like program for foster kids.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm trying to like develop a program where like it pushes foster kids to become a better version of themselves. Yeah. Because I kind of like, I didn't per se like completely grow up in it. I was in there for like a year. Yeah. But I got separated from my siblings, and I have a brother in prison because of the environment he grew up in. So like my goal is to like change that. Yeah. Yeah. Just help out with that part. But
no, that's super important. That's societal impact and giving back to people, giving back to the community. I think that's what really makes a citizen of like any kind of place. You got to always give back. You always got to care for the other person.
Yeah, bro. Like that's basically what life is about, because you live and then you gone. You know, people don't like think about it because
it's depressing to think about.
It's not even depressing. It's just it's reality. You know, like I'm gonna live, I'm gonna die.
Yes, sir.
You know, like I believe like in God and all that stuff. You feel me? So it's like the time that I have here, you feel me, is very minimum. You know, like just like now, like, you know, I'm done with like I just finished reading Thoughts, and that's just like now. You feel me? That feels like a week ago, and that's like only been a couple months. Like time flies, and like by the time you're like 25, it's like you either think about how much I've done or how much I've wasted. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't want to think about how much I've wasted. I want to think about how much I've done. That way, like, when I die, I don't die with a regret. Because that's, like, one thing that people, like, that's when people, like, I think majority of society, like, they die with regret. Like, I could have done this. You
I could have
like,
done that. I could have
could've
pursued
done this.
that.
I could have pursued this, but I stuck here. But there's nothing wrong with that.
No,
it's like,
not.
that's something I don't want.
Exactly. That same thing. That's the one thing when people ask me why I fear, that's the one thing. It's just that regret at the very end of the day that I didn't pursue those things that I really wanted to do. And I can see that hunger for yourself. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But kind of going off of the how you're trying to give back to community and kind of inspire other people, who's your inspiration?
My inspiration, I like, weirdly enough, are like people outside of music. But like when I was like young and I was a very depressed kid because like of my environment. What kept me going was like comedy. So like Richard Pryor, like he grew up, like the reason why I'm a fan of comedians is because like they're so messed up. You know what I mean? They're so real about it though. But like they're still putting themselves out there. And they become successful, and they're genuine, down to earth people. I'm not to say all comedians, but like Richard Pryor was like a role model for me. Steve Harvey, right now he's like a current role model for me. Chapple, like these guys humble themselves.
Oh yeah,
Muhammad Ali. I just love people who just like full on. I think to me represent what like being an entertainer is, connected to the people. Richard Pryor, genuine guy, connected to people. You feel me? J. Cole, connected to people. You know what I mean? Like his music connects to people. Yeah. Steve Harvey, hardest working guy. James Brown. You know what I mean? Like I look up to those people like that who really like want to stand for something and like inspire others to be, because like because people tell them no. Steve Harvey said like he was like homeless for like 3 years living in a car. You know what I mean? Like. That shit is inspiring because I was homeless for 1 year. You know what I mean? He said he'd been doing it for like 5 years or something like that. He'd been doing it for a while and he was just
hustling.
Hustling and he caught it. You feel me? Like that's what every person that succeeds, like that's what they say that's happened to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I know like I'm gonna catch on. Yeah. Like it's not even being cocky stuff. Like I'm gonna catch on.
Yeah. I mean that was the one thing we talked about off screen a little bit, is that your words have meaning. Your words have action. So if you're in your mindset of that you're not able to do something, you're never going to be able to do it. But if you're in the mindset and then you're articulating that you want to do something,
and you know why,
and
too.
you know why, that's the most important thing.
And it's important to know, like, it's important to figure out what you want. Yeah. And then it's another thing to know why you want it. You know what I mean? And then it's another thing to continue to do it until you don't doubt yourself no more. Yeah. I don't doubt myself anymore. Like, that's one thing I don't do. I do have moments where, like, I'm down, like, oh, damn, like, like, nobody listened to this, but, like, now I don't care. Like, I don't care. Like, all I know is that I'm putting my all, and I believe in God. Like, the leap of faith. Like, you shouldn't walk by, like, sight. You got to walk by faith, knowing that it is going to work. That's what most successful people do. Yeah. And I take all that into account. All these people, like, it just happened because they kept at it. You know what I mean? Like, another example for me for that is when I was in high school, I tried to audition for jazz band. Yeah. Right. That was like my first instrument of jazz. I sucked ass. Like, I was terrible, but my high school teacher, who's like now my friend, Craig, like, he said, like, when I finally got in, I was like, to be honest, like, I never thought you would ever make it.
That's pretty savage.
But I proved him wrong. Yeah. Like, that's why he told me straight, like, he respected.
Prove the doubters.
You got to prove the doubters. Like, not even prove it to the doubters. Like, you got to prove it to yourself. Oh yeah. You know what I mean? Like, for me, like, I had to prove that I was worth it. Like, because I grew up like in an environment where, like, I didn't have a mom. And my dad was barely around. And I was kind of like, I had people who care about me, but I was mostly alone and I didn't know how to process pain. And like, I always blamed everything on myself. So for me to develop and break out of that shell, I had to do like things that I would never do. Like, like prove to myself, not prove it to like them, Yeah. Ultimately, they're going to believe in whatever energy you put out. You know what I mean? Like, if you're going to put out this negative energy, that's the type of thing they're going to think of you. Like, that's what you are. So you got to prove it to yourself to the point that the energy is so crazy that everybody just got to, like, they can't ignore it. You know? I walk out now, like, some people, like, most people don't know who I am, but they sense the energy. You know what I mean? Is that energy that you love yourself. That's like one thing I'm still learning, though, self-love.
I feel that. I actually, to go into kind of a funny topic about what you're talking about, that positive energy. What's the craziest way that you've gotten a follower on Spotify? I remember we had a very interesting conversation.
Oh, shit. Oh, no.
So what is the most fascinating way that you have tried to get yourself Spotify followers?
So basically, me and Val, we were extremely drunk at one of our homies' wedding, at his reception. Not at his reception, like we were at a hotel. And this one like random caller, like fake ass caller, like a Bernie Sanders supporter called me up. He's like, "Hi, would you like to talk about the Bernie Sanders campaign?" I was so drunk out of my mind, like, yo, girl, like, first of all, we can talk about it. But second of all, I'm extremely drunk, so we're going to have to get this shit going. And then, like, I was basically like, I mean, I fuck with, like, Bernie because he's a dope guy. You feel me? But I think he's fucking crazy, though. That's what I said, like, dude's going to tax the rich and blame it all on the rich. Like, okay, cool. And they work for that money? Like, it doesn't make no sense. Like, how you going to just, like, solve the problem by just taxing all the rich? That doesn't make no sense to me. But, like, I just said that, but I was extremely drunk. So, and then I told her, like, hey, okay, I'll check out the Bernie Sanders page if you check out my music. And I got her to check out my music.
So there you go. That's how you turn a Bernie supporter into
a Bautista supporter.
Exactly.
Hey,
there you go.
Man,
it's a fair deal.
Talk to random people too. Like,
yeah, no, that was where I was trying to go with that. Is that you got to be willing to talk yourself anywhere, to any situation, whether condition you're in or wherever you're at.
You gotta talk to anybody, bro. Because I was very introverted back in my day. Like, I couldn't talk to anybody, especially women, because like women, like, I was very nervous. What got me out of my shell was, like, again, like, I think in high school I took acting classes. Yeah. Like, I used to be a part of an acting modeling agency, and I took something about, like, around there, and then I had an acting coach who, like, taught me how to, like, express myself. Yeah. And after, like, I learned how to express myself, I became more confident, and then doing open mics, just performing. That got me out of my shell and just, like, daring myself to say, like, let me talk to this random person today and see what that does. Because, like, in the industry, like, your goal is to put yourself out there. It doesn't matter, like, how you do it. I mean, it does matter how you do it. Yeah. You got to be able, like...
You got to be genuine about it, too.
Yeah, you're genuine, and you got to learn how to talk to people. You got to learn to read people. Because there's certain people that you got to, like, just, like, oh, you don't want to talk because you got earbuds in. There's certain people that you can read. And you could tell, like, I'm learning to, like, read people. One thing, like, when I started talking to people, it was like... I was difficult because I wasn't genuine. I didn't, the energy wasn't genuine, and I was just like forcing myself. But like when you push yourself to talk to people and you make the effort, it becomes like over time you don't have to try as hard. You don't have to try hard at all. Like right now I can talk to anybody. Like I don't care. Yeah. It's just a matter of now like choosing whether I want to talk to you or not.
Yeah, and how to approach that conversation.
No, you just approach it like you know them. That's like the key.
Well, fair enough.
That's how you do it. Like if you have to think about how you're gonna approach the person, don't talk to them.
Fair enough.
Just talk to them. Everybody is a normal human being.
Well, yeah, no, that's an important thing. It doesn't matter what's standing or whatever. You got to just talk to people like they're a person.
Yeah, like no, act like you already know them. And then people are like, do I know you? I'm like, nah.
Now you do.
Now you do. Shit. I don't even be giving names too. Sometimes I'll just be saying hi and just leave. I talk to you, tell me what's your name, and then I leave, and then people are like, yo, this random kid just said what's up to me, and then like rumors spread, and then out of nowhere you run into them again, and they find out who you are.
I guess that's the way to go about it.
Yeah, you don't want to just seem like a whole billboard ad.
Oh no, that's fair. That's fair.
Like, I'm an entertainer. I'm for the people. You know what I mean?
There we go. Yeah, I love it. All right, just to close it out then. So we talked about a lot of stuff. You were kind of inspiration for music, the music you've done, and your approach to how you're continually growing your brand. But I think the last piece that a lot of people want to hear, especially an aspiring artist, what advice would you give somebody that is trying to pursue a career in this field? Because it is a very difficult field, and a lot of people don't really understand that.
I mean, to pursue a career, I'm still trying to pursue a career in it myself.
Yeah.
Man, you just gotta be willing to just deal with, like, yourself first. Because there's a lot of no's, and the no's are like, I'm not getting, like, the plays that I want. Yeah. That's like a no. You gotta be able to just not give a fuck. I mean, that's like my key to like, you can't care. You gotta just walk on faith. You just can't not think about it. It's happening. That's what you gotta think. Like, it's happening. Like right now, like I'm living the dream, you know?
Yeah.
This to me, like compared to where I'm from, like where I grew up, like I came a long way, you know? And that to me is like, I reflect on where I come from. I sometimes compare myself to like a bigger artist because I just want to see like how far I need to go. But then like, that's not your journey. Focus on like how far you've come. Focus on your growth, on like how you view yourself. And then everything else comes. Like me being here is like, back in the day is like crazy. Like I didn't do shit. You know what I mean? Like now I'm like working so much just to like get anywhere, you know? And like so over time you start seeing results, and the results is like how you see yourself and how people see you. That's basically it, man.
Awesome, man. That's some good words of wisdom, though.
Yeah.
But overall, if there's any last comments you want to say, you want to plug anything that you're doing, any future projects, other than that.
No, my next project, dude. Whew, I don't know when that shit's coming out. I'm working on a lot of shit. Like I have like over like 40 songs made already. Ooh. But none of them, like, I'm only dropping like 2. It's just like, you know, I'm not keeping it for myself. It's just like, I view everything like a business. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, you just gotta be consistent with content. That's one thing I can't say. Be consistent with your content and figure out how you're trying to market yourself. Like, but yeah, my next album, I don't like, and I wouldn't call it an album. I was just saying EP.
Yep.
My next thing, I don't know what it's gonna be, but when it is, like, I'm not trying to force nothing.
Yep.
But you know, when it happens, it happens. Like, I'll make it known that it's gonna happen. Right now, it's just stay tuned with the growth, you know. And I appreciate everybody who's like been supporting me, you know, especially like my homie Adam. You know, he supported me. Family members support me. You know, I appreciate support. Like, acknowledge the people who support you. I appreciate everybody. And then I appreciate the future people who are coming into my life. You feel me?
There you go.
Acknowledge the future. Love the present. Fuck the past. Keep moving forward, fam. Hey, let's get it.
There we go. Well, that's it. Appreciate you joining me for the Acoustic Haven podcast, G. Bautista, and let's just keep it going, man.
Let's keep going, bro.
Appreciate it, man.
All right. That's all, folks.